games to cover this week, and maybe if it goes anything like this last one, then this is gonna be a long episode. But Dan, it's time for you to take it away with Packers and Bears. You are the Bears guy this
I
season,
am
and
the
now
Bears
they
guy.
get their rematch for their revenge without with a Micha Parsons less Packers team that is demoralized.
Let
Cowboys
me explain
fleeced
this
them,
to you
by the
guys,
way.
right? You guys might not have thought of it with how much Caleb Williams was running that game. The Packers were only able to acquire one sack with that O line, Michael Parsons, and a fully healthy defense. What do you expect them to do now in this game in Chicago with literally this game? This game, I say this right here, right now. Packers lose this game, it's not going anywhere in the playoffs. They are fully cooked. Scotty, we said this on the last episode. Usually, when you suffer a dramatic injury, you have one game to prove to yourself that you are still that same team, that you could still do it. And I am betting that the Bears are going to lose this game. Now, the Bears are not going to lose this game. My apologies. Bears are going to win this game 30-21, and it's gonna be a statement win. I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where they're gonna be able to get the second score on them, and there's not gonna be enough time, and they're gonna be an onside kick, and I'm expecting the Bears, to receive it, and then they call it the match right there. Um, Overall, from what I'm seeing, it's the offensive weapons. I believe Odunze is gonna be playing this game, so they're gonna have
He's
all.
out.
He's out this game. Okay, so then reports are wrong. But DJ Moore was cooking last week. DeAndre Swift was absolutely cooking last week. Now that Parsons is out, the run game, now that the Packers don't have Kenny Clark, they don't have any traumatic run support. Michael wasn't a big run support guy either, but he did acquire a lot of the attention from the offensive line. But now that he's not there, I can only imagine what Manungai and Swift are going to do. So whatever their rushing yards are, take the over. Bet that ish easy money. And I'm expecting DJ Moore to have a great game. Colston Loveland is definitely going to be used in this game now that the linebackers are going to have to produce on a higher level than they've been doing all year. And this, in reality, for me, is a big game for if Jordan Love is going to really show up with the weapons that he has. You know what I mean? Watson, I believe, has the shoulder injury,
He's
and
questionable.
he's
He's been a
questionable. So
limited. Yeah.
so they're saying he's limited at practice today. He wasn't fully sure if he was going to be participating. If he's not there, it's going to be Golden and Reed and Romeo Dobbs. So Dobbs, I'm not really nervous of. Reed's been perfect. This is a Matthew Golden game. Like this is a Matthew Golden either standout or breakout. No, standout or sit down game where you're really gonna see what is this first rounder really worth it? Is he really going to be something for you guys? It's gonna be this game or never again, in my opinion. Um, so what else? What else did I have down here? One second. One second. One second. Oh yeah, this is a game that while the Packers need to win to keep their mojo, the Bears are doing it to make a statement. And I think they're going to make a statement this game, again, with my score prediction. So, um, Williams has been up on the up and up with his QB rating from my notes. And a lot of the weapons down on the Bears have been performing absolutely well. And the Packers, listen, even though they had the losses, they were still in the fight against the Broncos. So there's nothing to really say here. But the Bears caught fire and was lighting up the Browns in their last matchup. So I believe they're going to take this mojo and they're going to ride it into this game.
And your score prediction was 30-21, right?
21.
Joey, who do you think will win between the Packers at the Bears?
I think the Bears win the rematch.
They have to.
Do you want me to expand?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with a lot of things Danny said. I think Micah Parsons not being there is going to have a huge impact. You referenced Denver coming back and beating Green Bay. It's ironic that happens when Micah Parsons isn't on the field. But that's not a huge swing in how their defense operates, as we know. But yeah, I mean, they still have a solid.
I tell you, the Cowboys did it, and and it's like, why are we making him the main focus? It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Making who the main
I just think
focus?
That I said it's almost like, for example, right? Like what I've seen from the Cowboys and now with the Packers. They acquire Michael Parsons and we're like, this is gonna be the star that we use to be able to do everything for us. And basically the moment he goes down, the moment he's not on the field, what's your identity? Who is your guy?
I guess for Sean Gary, who's like a B plus maybe. He's not like a, you know,
It's like
he's
where's
not
the
like
rotation?
he's not like a playoff
You know what I'm
game
saying?
winner.
Because for example, the Texans defense, Petrie, Daniil Hunter, Will Anderson, what's it called? Stingley. It's like they stand different dudes of who the
the
guy
Neil
is.
Hunter.
Even the
Daniil,
Broncos,
you know what I'm saying?
Nick Bonito. He's not elite, but he produces like it, I think. On the defense, it's just the Packers. I think, I think you're right that they're really gonna miss him. Oh wait, Joey, did you score predict?
He was in the movie explaining. I apologize.
Oh yeah, wait, sorry. Yeah, wait, Joey. Why don't you finish and then we'll
I wouldn't,
huh?
I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay fell out of the playoff picture from this injury and just continued to lose out. They just seemed like they were shocked after the
Oh, you're lagging a little bit.
He's glitching.
injury. It kind of to get them ready to split here. And yeah, like Danny said, I like the rushing overs for Manungai and then Swift. I think Caleb will have more time to throw, and I got the Bears winning 31-27. I think Green Bay will put up.
Glitching again.
Green Bay will put up what?
Green Bay will put up points, but they're not. I don't think they're going to pull out.
Yeah. So you think for score it's like in the 20s?
I said 31-27 Bears.
31-27 Bears. Okay. Yeah, I struggle with this one a lot. Holding the position I did on the Packers this whole season.
Yep.
It hinged on Micha Parsons. So everything changes now. And this Packers team, in my eyes, goes essentially back to what they were last year, minus some of the wide receiver injuries they were dealing with and stuff, which was still a really good team, in all fairness to them. I'm getting some echo feedback. But it looks like Watson might play, but if he doesn't, in terms of Golden, I feel like, he's been targeted and used downfield very, just a little bit here and there. And but he's converted on a lot of the opportunities that were there. I think it's just something we see happen to a lot of these Packers wide receivers. It's like, takes them like a long time to kind of find that role, like Jaden Reed did, and Dobbs kind of settling in. But we'll see with Matthew Golden. It's not something I feel confident projecting to happen in this game, and it makes me feel like the Packers are going to lose. And then I kind of have this other, part of me that says, well, you even mentioned it, Joey. The Packers are at risk of missing the playoffs. They're the 7 seed right now at 9-4-1, and they could very easily lose that spot to the Lions. The Buccaneers and the Panthers are both 7-7. So if they completely lose out, there's risk of being kicked out by a 10-7 team if they win out. And it just, they're going to be playing every game for the rest of the season as if it's a playoff game because of that. And
Scott, to your point about Matthew Golden, I just looked it up right now and I see it. The last Chicago matchup that they had, he had 1 attempt for no receptions and 0 yards.
Well, if he had 1 target, it doesn't really sound like that's his fault. It sounds like I said, he just doesn't really have the defined role right now. And he's got to figure that out with the team, and the team's got to figure that out with him.
Even when Watson was gone, he was getting 2 receptions for 2 targets, 0 receptions for 2 targets.
Well, Watson came back around when you would kind of start to see rookies break out, and they really do. They would be used in a very similar way, as a gadget deep threat kind of guy, or just pseudo number one. And like I said, 1 target. Is that his fault? We know he's been getting open. We know that Jordan Love has missed him a couple times. It's But hey, as in terms of the Packers as a whole, their offensive operation with him, am I going to bet that Jordan Love all of a sudden is starting to find him? Matt LaFleur schemed him up for this? No, I'm not going to project that. But I'm just saying, like, that's kind of why I see this happening. But what I wanted to mention was that something I literally said about the Broncos, them kind of intentionally not taking as many risks. I think that was something they kind of had the opportunity to do with Micha. And I do think we will see like a different level of urgency from this Packers team because they were so shocked. And the instant reaction when you're 9-4-1 is not going to be to give up and just roll over and die. Like we said, you gotta prove this game who you are without Micha. And I do think we're going to see a really, really good performance from the Packers, despite not having Micha. And I do think it's going to come from the offense because this Bears defense hasn't really been one to slow people down. It's been the turnovers. Love had a good game last time. Jacobs had a pretty solid day too. Everyone's still there pretty much. Watson might even play. So I'm not worried about the offense. The defense, yeah, it's going to be all about that in terms of if the Bears win this game or not. I originally had the Packers 27-26, and I've thought like 3 different times while explaining this about switching it. Yeah. I'm going to stick with it. Just because I feel like my theory of the urgency and stuff, like I do feel like just as traumatic and bad as the loss of Mike is, we're going to see like an equally, drastic level of response from the team. I'm going to bet that is going to be enough for them to get the win here. But I'm not confident. It could really go either way. But
before we get to the next topic, I would like to say a score update: 6-7. Rams 6, Seahawks 7. They just scored another field goal, and Matthew Stafford just missed a deep shot over to Colby Parkinson, and low-key kind of whiffed him. I'm not even gonna lie to you, it was pretty tragic.
Isn't it crazy? He's got 37 touchdown passes this year, and no one else had 5, and he's tied for the league low in interceptions for starting QBs. Yeah, I don't respect the hate on Stafford. Why are we hating on him?
I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying the Rams have 6. And the Seahawks.
You both know damn well you both want the Seahawks to win this game, and you're gonna hate on the Rams.
Win, but I would never. But I have Matthew Stafford as my fantasy quarterback for a reason because I believe in him.
Are you starting him versus Seahawks?
Yes,
I am too. Yeah. I wanted to see if anyone else was wondering that, but yeah, we should move on.